In today's lecture of material technology, we are going to see the next part, and that is associated with crystal structure. How question asks, define a space lattice, what are its important characteristics. So we'll understand one by one. Crystal structure may be defined as when many unit cells repeat in a three-dimensional space known as crystal structure or space lattice. A space lattice is defined as an infinite array of points in 3D space in which every point is symmetrically located with respect to the other. Therefore, the characteristics of space lattice are the opposite sides of the unit cell are parallel to fill space completely using only simple translation, that is, no rotations is allowed. Each unit cell contains an integer number of structural units which may be 1. The corners of the unit cell may be translated to any point in the pattern without changing the overall symmetry. Unit cell is defined as the basic structural part in the composition of materials. The units of length in the space lattice are the distance between space lattice points are defined by A, B and C. The angles between the axes are called lattice angles. These are represented by alpha, beta and gamma. The space lattice is absolutely determined by intercepts small a, small b and small c at an angle of alpha, beta and gamma. Now we will move forward. We will study slip system and deformability of FCC, that is face center cubic, BCC, that is body center cubic or body center crystal structure, and HCP, that is hexagonal closed packed lattice system. Now the very basic question, what is slip? A slip system refers to the slip planes or lines at which dislocation motion or slip will occur. First, what is FCC? FCC, that is face center crystal structure or face center cubic structure, is a slip system referred to slip planes or line. In this structure, these are 8 atoms at the 8 corners and 6 atoms at the centers of 6 faces. Please listen carefully. There are 8 atoms at the 8 corners and 6 atoms at the centers of 6 faces, and there is no interior atom. Therefore, we will write down as a NC, that is 8 corners. NC is 8, and NF, that is at the 6 faces, 6. Therefore, NF is equal to 6. But as no interior atom, that is N of I, that will be 0. Therefore, N of AV, that is N of AV is equal to 8 by 8 plus 6 by 2 plus 0 by 1, that is total will be 4. Therefore, that is the average number of atoms per unit cell, that is the NAV for FCC is 4. Now for BCC, it is in body center cubic structure, there are 8 corner atoms, therefore NC will be 8, and 1 atom in the interior, that is N of I will be 1, and no atoms on the faces, that means N of F will be 0. Now as the formula I have stated for the FCC, average number of atoms per unit cell, average number of atoms per unit cell, that is N of AV is given by NC divided by 8 plus NF divided by 2 plus Ni divided by 1. Now the summation equation will be given as average number of atoms per unit cell in BCC is 2. And when we talk about hexagonal closed packed structure, that is HCP, in this structure, the corner atoms are shared by 6 cells, that means 3 form below and 3 form above. Face atoms are shared by adjacent 2 cells, and the atoms in the interior are shared by only 1 cell. Therefore, average number of atoms per unit cell in HCP will be N of AV will be given by NC divided by 6 plus NF divided by 2 plus Ni divided by 1. Therefore, in HCP it will be totally 6. Now, lattice parameters. What is lattice parameters? It is first coordination number. It may be defined as the number of atoms directly surrounding a given atom. In simple cubic structure, each corner atom is directly surrounded by 6 other atoms of the adjacent unit cell. Now we can say that 2 atoms surround the corner atom of a unit cell along with x axis. Similarly, 2 atoms, that is 3, 4, surround the corner atom along with y axis, and 2 atoms 5 by 6 along with z axis. Therefore, the coordination of simple cubic structure will be 6. Now, in body center cubic structure, each corner atom is surrounded by 8 other body center unit cells. Body center atoms are more near the corner atom than those in the other corners. Therefore, we can see that near adjacent neighbors are the body center atoms of the 8 surrounding unit cells. The coordination number for a BCC is 8. For FCC, it will be 12. And number of atoms per unit cell will be given by formula N is equal to A by 8, that is average total number of atoms at corner, plus B by 2, that is B is equal to total of number of atoms at a face of unit cell, plus C by 1, that is total number of atoms at a center of a unit cell. Therefore, that will be N number of atoms per unit cell. Next is atomic packaging factor, that is APF, the ratio of actual volume of atoms per unit cell to volume of the unit cell is known as atomic packing factor. We can discuss the atomic packing factor for following cubic structures. As for simple cubic structure, that is the SC, we can call atomic packaging factor as a 0.52. For body center cubic structure, it will be 0.68. For face center cubic structure, that is the FCC, it is 0.74, and for HCP, it is equivalent to 0.74. Now, what is density in terminology? The ratio of mass of atoms in unit cell to volume of unit cell will be called as a density. Linear density, rho L, is defined as the number of effective atoms NEL per unit length on specific length L along any direction in a unit cell. Now it can be defined as rho of L is equal to N of EL, that is the effective number of atoms divided by linear density. Planar density, the planar density is defined as the number of atoms per unit area of a crystal plane as called as planar density. Therefore, planar density rho of P is equal to N of E divided by A, where N of E is the effective number of atoms on the plane and its area is given by capital A. So, with this abundant knowledge, we will move forward and we will see what is a strain hardening, because in university the question will be asked like write a short note on strain hardening, or what is work hardening, explain the various stages of work hardening in detail. Ductile materials increase in strength and hardness when plastically deformed at temperatures lower than the crystallization temperature. Now this is called as a work hardening or strain hardening. Now it consists of a shear strain on a x-axis and a resolved shear stress on a y-axis. So this is a graph, and the graph is submitted in 3 categories, that is the stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. In elastic limit, a small plastic deformation results in a relatively large increase in strain hardening. The rate of strain hardening decreases rapidly beyond the elastic limit and becomes a constant value until fracture occurs. A strain hardening process is of great significance in many metal forming and fabrication operations in industry. Now, as a result, working electrical conductivity may be decreased and rate of chemical action will be increased. Work hardening might cause development of internal stresses, increase in corrosion and crack formation, elastic distortion and fragment of crystals. Work hardening reduces ductility. Therefore, several theories are put forward to explain the phenomenon of work hardening. All these theories say that work hardening is due to the increased resistance to the motion of dislocation inside the crystal when the metal has been subjected to cold working. Stage 1 is called as the easy glide region. Now it is the first region stage. There is a very little strain hardening in the crystal structure, and during this stage the dislocations are able to move relatively large distances without encountering any obstacles. Slip occurs on only one slip system at this stage. Stage 2, that is a linear hardening region. In the second stage of the curve is almost linear, indicating that strain hardening increases rapidly. Slip occurs on more than one slip system. Following theories explain the stage 2 hardening, that is the pile-up theory. Seeger assumed that increase in strain hardening is due to pile-up dislocations. The pile-up of dislocations on the slip planes as obstacles such as sessile dislocations produces the back stress. The forest theory says, according to Basinski, the strain hardening in stage 2 is due to the forest dislocation. In this theory, it is assumed that dislocations in this theory moving in the slip plane cut through other dislocation intersecting the active slip plane. The dislocation passing through the active are called as a dislocation forest. According to the Joke theory, Mott and Hirsch propose a theory which is called as Joke theory, according to strain hardening depends on the jocks which hinder the motion of screw dislocation. Jocks in the edge dislocation do not hinder motion. They are produced either by moving dislocation cutting through forage dislocation or by forage dislocations cutting through source dislocation. And in the stage 3, there is a parabolic hardening region. In this third stage, the rate of strain hardening decreases. In this stage, the stresses are very high, so the dislocations stuck up in stage 2 are able to move by a process that had been suppressed at lower stage. We'll see importance of strain hardening. High strength reduces the need for material thickness, which generally saves weight and cost. Machine cutting tools need to be much harder than material they are operating on in order to be effective. Hardening can drastically improve the service life of mechanical components. Okay, so this is the conditions associated. Now we will see recrystallization annealing. Recrystallization annealing is an annealing process applied to cold work metal to obtain nucleation and growth of new grains without phase change. This heat treatment removes the result of the heavy plastic deformation of highly shaped cold formed parts. The annealing is the effective when applied to hardened or cold work steels, which recrystallizes the structure to form new ferrite grains. Again, there are stages of recrystallization annealing, and they are first stage 1 as a recovery, second stage as a recrystallization, and third stage as a grain growth. Now the factors affecting recrystallization annealing can be considered as temperature and time, because higher the temperature, shorter it takes to recrystallize. Cold work, the prior cold work is essential for recrystallization. Initial grain size, the smaller grain size of the material before cold working, larger will be the grain boundary. And material purity. In material purity, with its presence in missing plane of atoms, the overall result is reduced strain energy, which requires higher temperature for recrystallization. Okay, so these are the conditions. When we consider advantages of cold working, it has been asked in exams many times. Advantages of cold working includes it prevents loss of metal due to oxidation. They have good surface finish. It maintains a closer tolerance on the dimensions of the metal. It improves the mechanical properties like hardness, tensile and fatigue strength. Whereas disadvantages of cold working includes it includes ductility and creep resistance of a metal. It requires greater energy to deform a metal plastically. It produces internal stresses in a metal, and it produces distortion in the grain structure. And we talk about hot working. When we talk about hot working, it is the condition working of metals and alloys above the recrystallization temperature is known as a hot working. It does not show any changes in properties and microstructure. It is always carried out after cold working processes. And if you consider advantages of hot working, it improves mechanical properties like toughness, impact strength and ductility of metal. It reduces energy required to deform a metal. It eliminates the blowholes and porosity. It is rapid and economical for forming almost all commercial metals. But disadvantages of hot working include considerable amount of metal is lost due to oxidation at higher temperatures. The hot work metals have poor surface finish due to rapid oxidations, and structure and properties of metals are not uniform over the whole cross sections. Dear friends, over here we have completed module number 1. You are asked to go through the module, and for any queries you can contact anytime. Go on study. Till then, thank you.